looking to close up non-conference play with the win going into Christmas break. Jackson State's coached by Mo Williams, who played here. Son was a manager for us when I first got here. Obviously, one of the better players in Alabama history. Had a great NBA career. So he's coming back home. He's going to have his guys ready to go. They're a lot better than what their record indicates. If you went back and watched their Mississippi State game 2 games ago, they were down 4 at the under 4 media timeout left in the game. So they've been fighting, scrapping, clawing, hanging with some teams. They're going to be motivated with Mo coming back to Alabama. So we're going to have to play well. On our end, we're just looking to get back to who we are. Obviously, our defense have been pretty good for most of the non-conference. It allowed us to win some big games, stay in, some games, give us a chance to win, like the Houston one. But it fell apart against Gonzaga. Gonzaga's really good, and you got to give them a ton of credit. But I just didn't feel like we were playing our brand of basketball, particularly on the defensive end. So we're going to try to get back to that before we go into Christmas break. But, this is definitely a needed win after coming off the loss against Gonzaga. We'll see how some guys respond. But, you can tell a lot about guys, how they respond after losses, how they respond after some adversity. Our guy's going to be looking to go to Christmas and, leave a day early, or are they going to come in with something to prove on their minds? So we need to come in with something to prove and just get back to guarding like we were guarding a few weeks ago.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned Mo. Just what's the relationship there with him, and what have you thought of the way that he's kind of started his career? I know he had 2 years at Alabama State and then going on to Jackson State.
Yeah, you know what? He did a good job at Alabama State. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gotten the Jackson State job. He's a guy that I've talked to. When he's come back to town, like I said, his son was a manager for us when we first got here and stayed on with us. So, he's a guy whose pictures on the wall here. You want to remember some of the better players around here. So he's been very supportive, very, congratulatory and, in comments and texts and calls on what we're doing here. He's happy that Alabama basketball is getting back to being good. But, he's also a coach that's got his own team that's trying to get themselves righted. So he's going to come in here trying to get a win. But, we've got a good relationship with Mo.
Coach, it's been back-to-back games where the defense is giving over 50 points in the paint. Just what are you seeing from the interior defense, and how do you hope to improve that?
Yeah, we got to do a better job protecting the paint. That's for sure. We've challenged everybody. It's not just our bigs. Obviously, look to the bigs when paint scoring's up, and Charles and Clowney and Gurley and Pringle, like they need to do a better job. But it's also the guards. Like, we're letting the ball get into the paint too much. Our guards aren't. We've kind of referred to it as the line of scrimmage up there. Like their guards are letting their men get into the paint. They're not putting enough ball pressure on. They don't have enough resistance. And then the ball's being driven in. Some of it's our pick and roll coverage that we got to get shored up. But if you go back and look, looked at the Gonzaga game a few times afterwards, that it wasn't all pick and roll coverage. A lot of it was guys just driving. Some of it was we just didn't get matched up. They pushed hard in transition. We got cross-matched. 2 guys ended up on somebody else, and all of a sudden, somebody's open for a wide-open 8-footer. Well, you guys kind of know we don't take a lot of mid-range, but the reason we don't take a lot of those is they're typically highly contested shots that you don't shoot a high percentage on. Well, if they're not contested, the percentages go way up, and we didn't contest very many of them against Gonzaga. So all the percentages go out the window when you don't play hard and contest shots like you're supposed to. So we got to get back to where we're contesting every shot. Our communication's got to get better. We can't have guys uncovered. We got to do better in pick and roll. At what point do we switch it? They kind of call it a veer switch when it gets deep and the big has step up and take it in the guard. Like we were all off the page on that Saturday, so we got to get back on the same page.
This question is really similar to the last one, but I was going to ask you about the mileage that Gonzaga got offensively out of the little 8-foot floater in the lane, not at the rim, but still in the paint. Is that what you're talking about when you talk about guards playing better D for the paint?
Yeah, and it's bigs, guards. It was everybody. I mean, our guards let their guards get too deep. Our bigs didn't switch into the, like, we kind of have a veer switch when our bigs are dropped back and pick and roll coverage. They didn't switch up, in time and challenge the shot. Some of them we just kind of sat back and watched them shoot it. Like, we kind of show our guys the numbers across the board. Well, those numbers are assuming shots are going to be contested at that point. Well, when they shot 74% in the second half, we didn't contest very many. So that's as bad a defensive performance in a half as we've had all year. So, yeah, we're we've got to do it. And the other thing is, like, people thought we chart it at the rim 2s, 3s, non-rim 2s. Well, non-rim 2s, if it's uncontested from 6 to 8 feet away, that's not that difficult of a shot to make. Like contested pull-ups from 18, 16 feet, whatever, those are much different shots than uncontested 6 to 8 footers. So, like, when you kind of put in all these percentages, well, there's different shots within the category of non-rim 2s, and we were giving up some of the easiest ones to make without contesting them at all. So, yeah, our defense has to get a lot better. We did a lot of video work on Sunday, practice today. We didn't go super hard. We want to make sure the guys' legs are fresh, and we've got, some guys that are ill within the program. We just want to make sure we're as fresh as we can be for this game Tuesday, before we go into Christmas break. But we did spend a lot of time on video going over some stuff, and I thought practice was a little bit better today. I think we played a little harder. We need to play a lot harder in the game on Tuesday as well. Make sure that all those shots are contested. If they're uncontested shots, it's a good shot for the offense, and it's a bad shot for us to give up.
With Brandon winning SEC Freshman of the Week this week, I think y'all have had an SEC Freshman of the Week as many weeks as not this season. Just with non-conference play coming to a close, how have you seen this freshman class kind of make an impact and adjust to college basketball so far this season?
So is that 2 for Brandon and 2 for Clowney? Is that what it's been? How many weeks have they given the award out? So we've gotten 4 out of 6. Yeah, I mean, it obviously speaks to the level that our freshmen are playing. And Jaden Bradley's had some really good games, too. I mean, if Clowney and Brandon Miller weren't doing what they're doing, Jaden might have won one of these weeks. So, we've and Ryland's playing good minutes, playing well for us. So we're really happy with the freshman class, obviously. I think it speaks to what, Brandon and Noah themselves have done, but in addition to the group as a whole, it also speaks to, like, we're going to play the guys that give us the best chance to win, whether they've been here for, no years as these freshmen are, whether they've been here 2 or 3 years. Like, we're not, giving guys a free chance, if you will, just because they've been here for so long. Like, you got to earn your stuff, and I think these freshmen have come in and played well and earned their minutes, and they're playing well. And you know what? We need our veteran guys to play well too. And I've kind of challenged them. I think, let's look at some of the guys that have been here. Charles has helped us win a lot of games. Javon's starting to get back. I thought Javon had as good a practice as he's had since he's been back today. We need him to get back at it. We need Noah Gurley to play like he's capable of playing. I don't think he's played up to what he's capable of doing, but our freshmen have been good, particularly when you look at them compared to freshmen across the board. They've been really good, and we needed them to be good. It's part of the reason we're in the top 10 right now, and we need them to continue to be good moving forward.
I know you still got to play one more game in the non-conference, but how would you assess just what the non-conference has been? Does it live up to your expectations? Are you happy with what you guys were able to do?
Yeah, so we've got, obviously, the Big 12 Challenge, so you get the one in the middle of conference play. But if you count the 12 that we'll have before SEC play starts, for us to, what are we, 9-2 right now? So we are. Yeah, for us to be 9-2 with a chance to go to 10-2, I think it's been, I think if somebody told me correctly, 2014, 2015 seasons, the last time that we had 10 wins heading into SEC play. And to do it with the schedule that we put together, and I'm not assuming that we've got 10 wins yet, assuming we play like we're capable of playing and do what we're supposed to tomorrow, if we can get to 10 wins, I think that speaks to the level we've gotten the program here. Just because my guess would be last time they had 10 wins going to SEC play, the schedule looked significantly different than what it looked like for us this year. I mean, it was one of the tougher non-conference schedules in the country. So I would say we've gotten done a lot of what we needed to get done. We've gotten quality wins. I mean, you look at Houston; they went on the road and won at Virginia. That's going to stay one of the best wins in the country over the course of the. I mean, Houston may not lose the rest of the year. You look at Gonzaga. We lost to Gonzaga, but Gonzaga may not lose the rest of the year. I mean, some of these teams we played, UConn's really good. They're in the Big East, so they're going to have some tough games, but they're going to stay top 5 in the country the rest of the year, would be my guess. So some of these teams we played are going to remain top 5, top 10 teams. We've got wins over. North Carolina's going to start playing much better, in my opinion. Michigan State's going to get healthy and be a contender in the Big Ten again. So these wins have put us in a spot to get a good NCAA tournament seed if we take care of business in the SEC. But they've put us in a great spot. But I thought we were in a decent spot last year, and we just didn't continue to improve like we needed to. We need to get better game to game. We got to get our defensive identity back. But if we can get back to who we were defensively, playing well, and take care of business in the SEC and give us a decent record, we'd set ourselves up to have a pretty good NCAA tournament seed based on what we've done in the non-conference so far.
Coach, the guards have played, very well to start the year, but with Demar Bennett's injury, Don Welch hasn't played in the game yet. What are you kind of seeing from the guards? And you kind of talked about it on Saturday that, what are you kind of looking for in that rotation? Who have you seen step up in practice as you get ready for Jackson State?
I mean, Jaden Bradley's obviously been stepping up. That's why we put him in the starting lineup. We need Rylan Griffin to continue to get better as a freshman. I think he's, playing hard, wants to really be who we're about, play tough defense. So Rylan's coming along. Dom's injuries we're getting close to getting him back. Hopefully when we come back from Christmas for SEC play, he can be right there, if not ready to go, because I think he could really contribute with his shooting and got some size at like that wing spot. But Quinterly's the one that we all know can be really good for us, and he's came back way sooner than anybody thought. He really wasn't supposed to be back till almost about now. So I thought he looked great in practice today. He's one that be looking to take a big jump just as he gets more and more comfortable with his knee and more comfortable just in his mind that he can play at the level he's played at here before. So, if he could get back to where he was, I think that would give us a big boost.
Just want to follow up. You mentioned some illnesses. Is there potential that you guys could be without a few players or anything?
You know what? There's no like today in film, instead of doing the film room, we did it out on the court and spread everybody out. We just, myself included, haven't been feeling great. I mean, it's just a lot of different stuff going around that I'm trying to keep guys as healthy as can be to where they can get to Christmas break and go home and spend Christmas with their families without being too sick. We need to get through this one last game. It's just, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to speak to all the immune systems. It seems like there's just a lot more going around this year.